Hey, what's up everyone? Today I wanted to make a blue and purple Kaido deck profile. The main concept of the deck is just to ramp up as fast as possible and then punish your opponent while you're ahead. So first off we have 4 blocker Doflamingos. It's a blocker that also allows you to place the next top card wherever you want, so basically a searcher for the next turn as well. And just level 3 4K blocker, not bad at all. We have 4 Kaya, she's a 2k counter, and on play she's a draw 2 trash 2, so if you don't open up Who's Who or something like that, then she's a good substitution. We have 2 OP04 blue Kaidos. On play, return 1 character that costs 8 or less and 1 character that costs 3 or less to the owner's hand. Very, very, very strong. This deck is really good with board removal, board breaking, just really excels at that. We have 4 OP04 Who's Who. He searches in Animal Kingdom Pirates and places the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck. We have 2 level 1 Law blockers just for the extra protection. And it is really hard for your opponent to break your board when you start getting up ahead and you have 3 queens and a Law or something like that. We have 2 purple Kaidos from OP01. Don -6, KO everything except this card. Really, really strong, but you don't want to use it in a situation where you'll ultimately screw yourself over. Really, really good to use if your opponent is down on cards, especially. We have 4 Sasake's, mostly for the 2k counter, but his attacking effect is good as well. You can trash 1 card from your hand and add a Dawn from the Dawn deck and rest it, so helps ramp up the Dawn a little bit, and a 2k counter is always good. Also, level 3 with 4k, not bad. We have Drake. I almost always use this card as a counter, although it can be used in a pinch to kind of control your opponent a little bit. It makes your opponent trash a card from their hand on play, which can definitely have its uses, especially if your opponent's already low on cards as it is. We have 4 Khalifas when attacking. She can draw 1, discard 1. Really, really good effect if you ever need to, get through your deck a little bit, but also serves as mostly a 2k counter more than anything else. We've got 3 starter deck Kaidos. A level 9 one KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less, then this character gains Rush this turn. Really, really strong. One of the main cards I use in the deck for sure. Really, really happy with it whenever I draw it. 5 Queens, one of the best purple cards in general. On play, draw 2, trash 1. Super good. Get as many of them on the field as you can, it's really obnoxious. We have 2 Gum Gum Red Rocks from OP04. Place 1 character at the bottom of its owner's deck. Obviously, probably the most broken card in the game, maybe. I'm going to see this limited as a 1 of in the future. 100%. I couldn't imagine this goes at 4 for the rest of this game's lifetime. And then we have 4 Ulti Mortars. Your leader or up to one of your characters gains plus 2000 power during this battle, then draw 1 card. So this is also really good for the trigger to add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. But the main reason we use this is because, let's say, I attach a Dawn. Let's say I have 10 Dawn. I attach a Dawn to Kaido, bring this Kaido out, destroy 1. This Kaido is going to then get a Dawn active from the Dawn deck. Then for the next turn, you'll have a counter that's level 1. So really, really interesting interaction there, and it's also really good if you ever pull it as a trigger. We have 4 level 3 Lion Threats. Main effect, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Really, really good for breaking boards, killing those blockers, and then swinging into people unexpectedly. And then we have 3 Onigashima Islands. I would play 2, but if this card goes all in your life, then it can definitely be a big issue. So 3 just to be safe, but you really only need 1 in the deck if things go perfectly. So yeah, that's pretty much the deck profile. Here's some pros and cons to it. It's got a super high tempo. It can ramp up super quickly if you aren't stopped in your tracks immediately, usually by something like a really fast red deck or black that has just gotten ahead of you and there's not much what you can do when black gets ahead. It's very consistent due to the multiple draw engines and the searcher that it has in Who's Who, and also Doflamingo actually. It's able to break almost any board setup between both the Kaidos and the Red Rock. It has 16 2k counters. And for the cons, It's bad against the Magellan variant of purple for sure, because the deck wants to ramp up as fast as possible. So anything that stops it is a threat, especially if you're constantly minusing Dawn in a deck that already has multiple effects to take it away. 4 life can definitely be tough if you're having a bad start, and it can do poorly against black if they get ahead. As I said, if someone's able to keep constant control on your board, you'll pretty much struggle the whole time, because the whole point of the deck is to get ahead and then punish them while you're ahead. So now that all that's been said, let's get into some gameplay. Okay, so going into the first game, I do choose to keep my hand because I see both Who's Who, Queen, and Onigashima in my first hand, which is like pretty much the best thing you could possibly ask for. I choose to get Sasuke here because he's really the only card of the decisions in front of me that would be viable in the next turn or two, plus he's a 2k counter. So get him in my turn and wait for my opponent. They play the Dressrosa field, and I summon Onigashima off the bat because it's very important to get that card started early. I choose to counter with 1k. They play Kyros, which is, debatably the most annoying card in the entire game. I drew Khalifa, which is another 2k counter, which is really nice. Looks like I'm going to go for a queen here, and then most likely trash Thunder Bagua because that is just typically the most trash card in your hand. Oh yeah, this deck was playing Thunder Bagua instead of Ultimortar. I did change that, a few games ago. So if you're wondering what the deal with that is, that's the deal with that. So I go ahead and summon Queen and then just attack with Kaido, and he blocks with a 2k and takes his turn. So I'm set up pretty good right now. I have a Queen on the field, I have another one in hand, I have two 2k counters, 2 blockers besides Queen, and a level 9 Kaido. So like this is pretty much the perfect hand. It's looking pretty good for me here. So they attack with Kyros. I just decide to block with Queen because there's not really much they can do about it. They summon Sabo, which is the most irritating card. Even more irritating than Kyros, definitely, because he prevents destruction for the next turn. So stuff like my level 9 Kaido, my level 10 Kaido that's purple, is not really effective against that card for an entire turn. So it makes you play a little bit differently, a little bit more safe than you normally would. So this turn, I had plenty of Dawn to get up with Sasuke and Queen. I think I'm going to attach 1 Dawn to... Oh, don't have one, actually. I trashed Dofi just because he's the least useful to 1k counter in my hand. And then I attack with Kaido into Rebecca. I'm just reading Kyros there to make sure that I can't really attack him because he could just rest the stadium and it would block the KO. But they just used Sabo to block it anyways because I wasn't really paying attention and I had no Dawn to attach or anything like that. Opponent deliberating a little bit, decides to play Luffy with 1 Dawn attached. I think I use counters here to prevent the death of Queen, just because I figured the numbers advantage was better than losing a card, even if I lost a few cards out of my hand. I'm sure he's gonna reset his trash and play the Luffy again, because it's the most irritating card ever. And I think I'm gonna let it go through that time. I don't think it's worth to block again. Although I would have plenty of numbers if I did, so I could see myself doing that. Yep, I do it. And I don't think he's got the Sabo effect the next turn, so I'm assuming I'm going to go ahead and play the Kaido. I don't activate the trigger because I don't need it because I'm going to have Max Dawn the next turn. So I still have the destruction to kill a blocker if need be. So I attach a Dawn to Kaido because of his captain effect. Whenever something's destroyed, you get a Dawn active. And then I use the other Kaido to destroy something, and I instantly get an active Dawn, which is why Ultimortar is so good. But because I don't have it, I just choose to attach the Dawn to Sasuke, and I think I avoid using his effect right here because I just don't really want to trash any cards in my hand. I just wanted to get an attack off more than anything. I'm assuming that's going to be a counter. Yep. Easy counter by my opponent. And I attack into this Luffy because it can really screw you up if you don't get rid of it fast. It just starts attacking everything active and messing you up. It's bad. Opponent draws cards in Dawn and is deliberating once again. Opponent plays Orlombus, which is the activate main -4 of that deck, which is very, very strong. Looks like he's trying to get Kaido out of the picture here. Attack Sasaki just to get a body off my field. I don't think I'm going to bother blocking that or anything. Not worth it. Sabo comes out again, which is unfortunate because now I can't destroy anything on this field until my next turn again. But I believe I'd, nope, this wasn't the heart of the cards moment quite yet. That's probably going to be the next turn. Draw into the level 1 blocker. Might as well just go ahead and deploy him with another queen. 4 blockers on the field. And a Kaido. It's looking pretty scary for him. I think I'd trash the Who's Who here just to have two 2k counters in my hand plus the blocker removal. I think I'm doing some Dawn math here just to make sure I'm all good. Now we see Rebecca's not rested, so I don't think I target Kyros here because it's just not really worth it. I probably just send both attacks straight into the life, or the captain rather. Yep, takes a life. Second Kaido attacks. And I'm assuming this might be a blocker plus a counter with the Sabo. Nope, just straight up another life again. Guess I didn't have enough counters to bother. Opponent draws, sets the field, sets Orlombus. Or no, doesn't set Orlombus, just activates the field. Gets the Kaido off my field finally. Oh yeah, Leo is very good in that deck. So as you can see, there's just not really anything they can do to break through the queens here. Like they would really have to invest a lot of Dawn into attacking, but it seems like they'd rather just set up their field. And I think that was their biggest mistake this game because I really just didn't let them get set up at any point. They could never really get going, and if I ever saw Luffy, I just got rid of it immediately. So heart of the cards moment here, I draw the 10-drop Kaido that's blue from OP04. It removes a level 8 or less and a level 3 or less from the field instantly, so it's just super useful. I'm pretty sure I'm going to target Sabo and the other blocker here. And then I'm going to go ahead and swing straight into Kyros, because this is the first time I'll ever be able to kill it. He does block, but I decide, no, I'm getting this thing off the field. I'm really sick of it. This is the only chance I'm going to have because both the leader and the stadium are rested. I take it out. As soon as it's done, I pass because I don't want to use all my blockers on that, just to be safe, and I let him take his turn. Plays another Leo, probably going to trash a queen, yep. Yeah, Leo is just like, if you use Orlombus and Leo together, he is an instant KO 5. It's really good. Opponent plays Sabo again, so I can't destroy anything again. So this This destruction card in my hand is useless again, unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure I find a way around it regardless. Draw another 2k counter, because that's pretty much par for the course with this deck. 10 Dawn on the field. I'm pretty sure I just split it evenly between both Kaidos. Yep, so I just swing into the life, or no, KO Sabo first, just to make sure he doesn't have a blocker, and then swing into the life with the other Kaido. Instantly takes one, not really much he can do about it. This is just a very slow burn gameplay because, you know, Blackish, they're doing the best they can to defend themselves, but they're not really getting anywhere either. A little bit of a slog of a game. Probably going to be the only gameplay footage I show of this one, but this is against one of the best decks in the format, in my opinion, right now, so just goes to show how good of a deck it's become. I'm really excited for OP04 when all these cards finally come out. Animal Kingdom Pirates should have had a searcher a long time ago. I don't know why every other deck under the sun got one before they did, but it's fine. It's fine. We have one now. It's fine. Wow. He's able to use Tashigi and the other -4 on main to get rid of Kaido, which is really huge for him. He's starting to come back a little bit now, but I think it's just a little bit too little too late. Yeah, I draw the level 9 Kaido. Heart of the cards moment again. I did get really lucky on the draws this game, in all honesty. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to attach one Dawn to Kaido, deploy the level 9, use its action, kill the Bartolomeo, and then get another Dawn set active, and go ahead and attach that Dawn to Queen, so I have another attacker. Now I go ahead and swing with all three into the life and hope that's going to be enough and they don't have enough counters. Swing with 7, they counter with 8. Swing with 6, they counter with 7. End turn, their turn, and I don't believe they draw the card they needed to get out of this situation, so they just go ahead and concede. Hey, what's up everyone? I hope you all enjoyed the video today. As usual, I'm just going to give you some cool alternatives that I thought about using or that I have used in the past and kind of let you know how they work. We have 4 ulti. If you want to try to add even more ramping up, then you can add her. I personally don't think she's great, but I have seen a lot of people use her. I have not found a ton of success with her. King. This is insane against red and green or just red. Really bad against pretty much anything else because you're not really going to get the effect off ever. Pretty good. Basil is pretty good because of the trigger, and just on play +1 Dawn is really strong. I've seen people play Robin, add up to 1 rested Dawn to your cost area, and if you have 6 or more Dawn, draw 1 card, and it's got a trigger to just play it, -2 Dawn, so pretty solid. King, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less on play. I don't think it's great, just because, you know, almost everything is level 5, like I just need level 5, please, just level 5, so I play the other event instead that can KO up to level 5. This Jack is pretty good, but it makes you trash one, so I prefer the Sasaki instead. Also, the Sasaki is a 2k counter, so I just think it's a little bit better overall. This is one of the best counters in the game. Hell's Judgment, I just don't think it works super well in this deck, and yeah, that's about it. Because, yeah, if anything, you want to use 1 cost counters with this deck, I found, so 2 costs is just a little bit too steep in my opinion for this type of deck specifically. I have seen plenty of people play Lead Performer. Personally, I don't play that card either. I think it's just a little bit too much Dawn to use for that effect. It is a very good effect, but it's just a little bit too much in my opinion. Really good trigger also though, if it happens to come up in a trigger. And Brachio Bomber, I've swapped this in and out before, but again, KO up to one of your opponents with a cost of 6 or less. If it was 7, it would be perfect. Like I'm struggling with 7s. 5s and 7s, and I get 4 and 6, you know what I mean? So that's my only real gripe with it. It's a very, very good card. KOs and adds a Dawn, really, really strong. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the deck. It's one of my favorites so far. I think it's really, really genuinely good, and I think it'll be really, really good starting OP04 going forward. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe, and until